Well, good morning, everyone. How's it going? I think that camera got bumped. I think that's better. So, how's everybody doing today? I know it's surprising. Why is this? I mean, that's way louder than I normally have. Thanks. That audio is just a bit too high. Okay. So, good morning. And some of you may be asking, what is this? What is this nonsense? What is Guthron doing on a Friday morning? Well, for now, I'm waiting for that. Thank you for that. So, well, I managed to get ahead of my work today. I mean, this week. So, while I still have some I have to do, I decided to just head straight into the writing this morning. Normally I spend this morning taking care of other things before my extra live stream, but not today. Today I'm going to go full on to the writing. So, I'm going to be working. I won't be talking that much. I'll just let the music play while I work. Feel free to pop in and ask questions and chat. I'll be able to see it, but I'm going to be focusing on writing. So, give me just a second. I need to fix something. So, I will be right back. What happened? What happened? Pixel sharks. Thank you. Thank you for that support. As always, appreciate it. Okay. So, I'm going to switch over to the writing one, which I don't actually have set as a button. I need to change that one. That one will be the button. Okay. So, I will be here, and just sorry, I had to move things around a little yesterday, and so now I'm trying to get them back to where I had them. So. Okay, so what you're seeing here is I'm looking through my scenes as they're laid out. There are multiple paths, so I'm just checking them out right now and catching up to see where I left off. So I'm at the part where the characters are arguing with each other. Actually, I need to do this one. That. I suddenly heard sounds. Oh, what's that? It's the lawnmowers outside. Yeah, sure, now you're quiet. I've been kind of moving these around so I can see them more easily, but for what I'm doing, I actually kind of need them stacked a little for grouping, because this is chapter 1, that's chapter 2, that's chapter 3, which actually has more decisions in it. I just wanted to get through it. I'm just kind of laying out the scenes. I'll clean them up in a little bit. Root. No, get over here. Adam, lay down. Better than that. Lay down. Trying to climb into a space he's not supposed to be in. Silly dog. I mean, it's amazing to me how a dog that is so smart, because he picks up on things as a service dog. He picks up on things that most dogs just wouldn't think to pick up on. But at the same time, he is so dumb sometimes. Not really sure why. What's up? Okay. That's all I'll give her then. That's the one. Okay, so these are pretty straightforward for right now. So, I need to move this slightly for a second. There we go. I think when it's in this mode, that button is not visible. So I wonder if I slide these two over a little. There we go. How far this way can I go? That button's right there. Okay. I had to start. I was doing this. There's a desktop app version for this, but I had to stop using it because it just kept it kept deleting things. It would wipe over things. I was losing work, so I switched over to this one because it was driving me crazy. This section here, put it here. Is 4C1A. See, I've done most of the scene planning already, so it's for this part, creating the little steps. I'm creating a skeleton. So for this part, it's fairly straightforward. It's just take the stuff that I've put in here on this in Scrivener, copy it, and then take it to the appropriate passage over here, paste it in there, and you'll notice I'm not taking the top section, because that's just a summary kind of thing of what the scene is supposed to include. And this is meant to be more of the breakdown. So when you go into this, although technically I could get away with just the summary, but this is supposed to be just a breakdown. So when the editor, the project manager goes through here, they can click on each one and see a brief thing. So that's why it doesn't look like much of a story when you see this part right here. It's just things, right? And you click this to go to the next one. There's more. It's just lines about what happens in the scene. It's not actually going to be what's there. These will be more drawn out. So, but this is just so they can visualize what it is I'm doing. And this one got the wrong name. So scene D over here. Chapter 4, scene 1D. Now later these will actually have names, little single word or short title names for each scene, but they don't really need it because when I go into here, you don't see the title at the top. You see it down here, but you don't see, that's not going to be there because I'm just testing it right now. This is more just for reference, make it easier to keep track of as I'm going through. I'll take you on just a second. Finish this scene. Okay, so take these. These will be chapter 4, scene 2. That's another thing. So you see this. This is all scene 1 of chapter 2. This is all scene 2. Now it doesn't. There are scenes inside the scenes. These are the main scenes. So, these are the two main settings, I guess you could say, and then each of these is an event that's happening inside that scene. But some of them are in different places, so you have different scenes that are strung together to create the larger scene. The idea was just to give me some structure. Okay, so I'm going to walk the dog. I will be right back. And I'm going to put the be right back screen up just so you guys have... That's not what I wanted. My step. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, Rainbow Rampage is still going. We can do it. Need some heals though. Something on my phone. Go to scene 2. So here we're gonna have a split. Is that how I'm doing this? Sorry, I'm looking at something. No, so this should be, that's how it is. That's why it looks different. suppose I could get away with doing them the other way because it'll probably be less because there's not as much in here. So I'll do that. Make it easier in the long run to keep track of. Less letters to there. Let's move these over. And see, here's I can add the passages this way. I can add the passages this way, or I can add them like this. So I go in here and I could say and then go chapter 4 scene 2 B1. And then I'll go grab your bone. What are you doing, dog? Ignore him. Chapter 4, scene 2, C1. Okay, now when I go out here, it's created those two for me, so I don't have to worry about it as much. Well, in case anyone's trying to figure out what the heck it is I'm playing, this is a bunch of different music that I listen to when I'm writing, mostly video game soundtracks, but because I'm on stream and I don't want any of this to be muted, I've reduced their speed to, what is it currently? 30% speed. You know, all things considered, that she's only got one piece of heart left. I'm impressed that Teapup is still going and hitting the boss. I don't think she's gonna win though. Okay, so now I go in here. Oh, hang on, this is C. I need this one to be down here. Then we go in here, and I paste this in. And then I'll hop down here and grab this one, just so I've got the initial ones in there. There. Finish this batch. For now. I looked over and I'd erased the stuff from the one side. I'm like, no, come back. I didn't mean to delete you. I think they've improved her AI since I originally, when they developed it for Ludum Dare. Oh, there she goes. Boom. She lost. Oh, I should take a screenshot of this for Fluffy. I can share it with them later. We did that one. Four, C2, B4. Okay. Now those are done. Just need 2 for now. I'll use these 2. Already put that one in there, okay. And go to this one. Okay. And then this is chapter 4, C2, C2. Snag this bit right here. 4, C2, C3. Okay. Yeah, I forgot you could do it that way. Let's go this way. Letting me see them all. Oh, that's not the one I want. 3. Okay. B2. There, now those are connected. As soon as I go to 4, it shrinks them all down. So now those are connected. I can move these up to here. Now let's connect these. This is oops, no, I want to correct that. I want to C1F, C1F. Chapter 4. There we go. Now, scene 1E. Now we're going to D. I think the way they're ordered in there The way they're organized in there is based on the number, like the scene, the passage that you took. SC1B. There. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, it's... See, it does matter when you spell it out. If they don't match, if the titles don't match, then oops. Duh. Doesn't. It creates a new one. You got to make sure they're exactly right. If you're going to use Twinery to make a story like this where the reader gets to choose the direction you go, then you have to do that. Okay, so let me move this all. Into A. Four. Okay, so now those are all connected like that. I think I want to move them all again so that they're down like this. I don't like having them out of the way. I'll make it so that each one is a little easily seen. The path to it. Okay, so now they're all connected. Much more easily consumed this way, I think. Just for now. I mean, visually when you're looking at it, I don't think they'll stay like this. So yeah, these paths merge here. So when I go to the next one, which I would put right here, make this one seam 1A. Copy that over. And have up here, have both of these lead to, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. Chapter 5. Gonna need the same thing. There. Right, go back over here. Go ahead and copy this one. Put it in here. And I'll just go ahead and create B. I already took it. Thank you, device. That's not what I asked you to do. I asked you to do this one. Okay. We did that one. And now I can just go over here. Paste that there, and then copy the rest of this. Now we're going to head into some split choices here. Now there will be more choices added later. A lot of choices added to give a lot more feel of separate paths. Yeah, to definitely give them a much bigger, a much stronger feel of separate paths. And more player control. I was discussing this in another stream. I think it was Nautilus Knots. He was playing, I think it was one of the Life is Strange versions. And he asked me the question what I thought about the concept of choice in video games, whether it was actually there. I couldn't answer at the time because I was working, but I think the video game companies limit the concept of choice for players because they don't want to deal with the they don't want to deal with the budget, the idea that, you know, how much they're going to have to spend to actually make a truly complex story that involves players actually choosing the way they would want to choose, giving them a lot more options. I don't think they plan that into their budget when they do that, so they set themselves up for failure when they do that. Got that. The button created for when I want to use this scene. I just have to actually create it. Okay, so now we're going to going to have and this is going to be C1. Let's see, let's just go down. Maybe the paths merge down here. So yeah, this can be D1, D2, E1, E2. Yeah, okay. D1. And the other option is respect privacy. That's going to be chapter 5, scene 1, E1. Okay. So now I created these. Let's zoom in a little so I can see down here, because I'm going to make sure I got them. It's going to be 2 scenes, two separate paths to the end of this scene is all. That's going to be E, and this is going to be... No, this is D. This is D. 5, scene 1, D. I like to make sure that the stuff matches on both, because if for some reason I lose one, I can always go back to the other one. So if I decide to make edits in the content that I'm copying from Scrivener into Twinery, then I will go back and I will I'll make it match, so that if for some reason I lose one, I'll get the other. I'll have the other. Scrivener is really good about keeping the information, not losing it. Now I need to go to chapter 5, scene 1D2. Yes, you created it. Thank you. Copy that. I'm gonna say it's just being, it's adding extra layers of work, but considering how many times I've experienced the problem of losing work, like in this particular project already, I would rather err on the side of caution and be over meticulous. Okay, so then this will be chapter chapter 5, scene 1, F. This will be F. Okay, I'll put that down here because that's where this is going to connect. Go here. Grab this. Oh, this is just this is the only scene. Okay. So this is F. Okay. That simplifies that. Okay. Put that there. And then just do... There we go. So now those are connected. Yeah, I guess I'll put it right there, and I'll move this to the middle. And I'll go grab this. And I got the idea for playing the music like this from Anthropophagic. He would play, I forget what it was he was playing. He was playing Radiohead or something like that. And then I think he had it on 10% or 20%. Too late on that one, Zoe. Okay, so that's the end of scene 1. Let's head on to scene 2, which I can go ahead and create. Oh, that's not on. Down here. Chapter 5, scene 2. A. Put that right there. Just copy that over here. There's some more choices to manage in this one, so. That had a bit of a Star Trek sound to it right there. There it is again. It's a very strong Star Trek. Axle boost. This is me having written out scenes in category. I wrote scenes like bullet lists and I organized them. So what you see on the left is where I've been doing all the work. And then on the right is me organizing them into a sequence. You see it all laid out right here. So this is chapter 1, scene 2, and then this is chapter 2, scenes 1 and 2, and then chapter 3. Scenes 1 and 2. All of the chapters have two, they're not, it's all one scene. I just organized them that way so that I had a sequence in it, in a chapter. So each chapter has kind of like 2 parts. And inside those parts, there are multiple things that happen. So just as an example, I'll go up here to the beginning just to show you. So, see, these are just lines. They aren't actual. It's not the story. It's just these are the things that are going to that happen. This is kind of like a scene setup. And I go to the next one. Now we get introduced to the character. But again, it's just line by just 4 lines of what happens in this particular moment of this scene. And then here's another thing. It's just 2 things that happen right here. And it will be. This is just like a larger over the top kind of look down. These scenes will have more choices embedded into them. Yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm creating a choice skeleton for the video game company that I'm making this for. This is a project I'm being paid to make. So this is going to be the overall look for it. And as you see, chapter 2 has a lot more scenes, has a lot more choices. Chapter 3 is going to have a lot more choices. I haven't, with these, when I went through and wrote the initial outline, I wrote the outline in Scrivener first, but when I went through and wrote the initial outlines for it, when I got to this scene right here, this chapter 2, the choices just jumped out because I knew I needed to adapt then what I was doing so I wouldn't forget it. So that's why chapter 2 is so much more complex than chapter 1. Chapter 1 will eventually be as complex as chapter 2 and so on. So I think it was this one right here. Okay, so you see that right there. As she finishes, a water pipe bursts nearby. Her master descends to call out orders, but Megwin doesn't follow. This will actually be a choice by the player. Will they follow him down, or will they choose to stay up? Either way, they're going to be able to help some of the trapped workers. But how they help them will be affected by do they choose to stay up, do they stay up or go down? Things like that. Little choices here and there that let the player have a similar. And I'm trying to make it. This will be farther down in this process. Even dead end scenes are going to provide you with something so that the process of going down that dead end doesn't feel like a waste to you. Like, I will seed a specific piece of information that you would get if you'd followed the ideal path later in the story, but by going down this dead end, you were privy to it a little bit sooner, and so it could affect your choice as you go back through, or it could make it so that the story opens up a little to you, or maybe the dead end reveals the location of an item that later, when you're going through the ideal path, you get to a similar point where you need that item, you know where it is, so then you can go there, because the pathing will allow you to go to that point and get that. Or you can move on and get the item through a different sequence of events. So it's complex. But yeah, I've never used Twine to outline. It's interesting how it kind of lays it out, but it does make it easier to see the flow of the events. But yeah, it's chapter 2 is really where I laid into choices, because it was simple. I was experimenting with how I could do multiple choices for the gamer in a simple scene. All the character is trying to do is get to a location without being delayed too much, and then once she gets there, figure out where the meeting is she's supposed to be going to without tipping off anybody that she's late. So that's why that one I was really experimenting with how far I could go with something that's not as like important to the overall story, but also with how could I allow the player to go down different paths but still end at the same point and get the same information. So each of these paths here represent the character moving around this facility in different ways and still encountering the information that they would get if they were following what I would call my ideal path. So if you were just reading the story and there was no choice involved, that path. It's tricky how you introduce that information and where you bring the lines back together. So yeah. And I was doing this, I said earlier, I was doing this in the desktop app. I do not recommend using the desktop app. It is bugged. It was losing data. It wasn't saving things properly. So I'm doing this in the web browser. So, and this allows me to publish, I can publish to a file. So then I have it saved. I like to do that after a certain period of time. So I've got it saved in its current sequence, and I was able to send that to somebody and they were able to go through in its current form. So Axel Boost, you're a writer. What do you write? And I will continue working on, if the screen is a little busy, it's later in this game thing, but the idea was kind of, I wanted to make it difficult for people to potentially get too many spoilers. So, but I mean, obviously if they really are dedicated, they could see them. And this also isn't the end product. Okay, so this is, oh, I need to zoom back in. Scene 2B. And these things you see are not the actual, they're not, this chapter would get a title, right? But these are just numerical things to help me track the scene through. Original and fan fiction, fantasy or sci-fi. Cool. I think this still works. Yeah. I've actually published a novel. You can find out more about it there. It's a story about living after trauma, set in a very future world with lots of futuristic technology, but it also has dragons and magic based on the elemental table. So check it out if you're interested. I'm splitting my time each week of my creative time between this project and editing the sequel to that book. Okay, so got that here, so I need to put this line here, and this is where this one's going to get light sci-fi mystery. Interesting. I have another project that my publisher eventually wants me to finish. That is it's a murder mystery set in on a future Earth, and I'm going to finish that one, but I'm going to. It's a co-project with my wife, and she's currently really busy. What we're going to do is write it like a series of short stories about this FBI agent, who is one of the few FBI agents left who has any expertise in the crimes that are being committed because of something that happened in her past. It made her want to know more. So what we're going to do is write them in like short stories, little novelettes, kind of, or novellas, about, although really the original story wasn't meant to be much more than a novella, about this character as you get to know the character, but in the process of these little stories, the larger story, the larger mystery that was the original novella idea is going to be revealed. It gives it to us in bite-size sequences. Okay. Oh yes, the notepad versus the computer. When does this decision become critical? This is much later. The interesting thing about chapter 7. At the end of chapter 6, chapter 7, there's a choice that the players will make that they only have, it's a major divergent path. So this is the ideal path. This is the divergent path from that choice. In the very next chapter, they have one more chance to bring themselves back to the ideal path. But after that, if they make the secondary divergent choice, then they're stuck on that path. Now that doesn't mean they will not get to the end. It's going to be a little more difficult because of that choice. That'll be fun there. But this current one, chapter 5, this is one of those. It's a little choice that that will affect the character later. I don't think this one comes in until, where is it? So yeah, the end of chapter 7. Yeah. So yeah, this choice right here in chapter 5, scene 2, whether she takes the notes does the notes on the computer or on a notepad, is one of those that has, it's a small effect that takes place that unrolls the farther into the. What I'm working on now is episode 1. I am under contract initially for 3 episodes, but a total of 12. And this choice right here, the take notes on the computer or the notepad, is something that will affect later episodes. Same with the choice later in chapter 7. It'll affect later episodes. So. But they don't really. Trying to decide how to account for it, because the paths are almost identical. I think for right now I'm just going to keep it simple and keep them all in the same scene instead of trying to split it off here, because it's not critical yet. There. No, go back. I want that. No. It does. That's good. I like that. It's one of those. It's actually a very notable impact. That's actually a very good word for it, because if she has the notes on Notepad, it's going to boost her confidence later. If she doesn't, it's going to shake her confidence. It's going to make her less. When she has to make certain choices later about what she's doing, she's going to question her memory. She's going to question whether or not it was all worth it. She will eventually get to the point where the data that was on the computer, if she took it into note form, she will be able to reconstruct it. That's, I think, episode 3 or 4 where that comes in. But some of these decisions here will be those little jarring character moments of, why didn't I decide to do this? And now I'm going to question myself because I made a stupid choice there, kind of a thing, as she goes through. It's just like the big choice, the big choice in chapter 7. Not going down the divergent path and then staying on that divergent path means she as a character is going to have a longer path towards becoming the, I guess you'd say, the leader that she's supposed to be, because there's an influence that she loses because of that choice if she stays on that path. So it's an interesting way to think about a story. It really makes you break down, well, if I make this choice here, what is the long-term result of that, this domino effect? And having written one novel that is it's a long sequence of choices and how they affect us, some of which you don't get the answers for until like book 3 or 4, which is the final book 4. It's fascinating to see how I was doing this before without realizing it, thinking about it. And this is nice because it lays it out and I can see the dominoes. So I don't know if I will use Twinery in a much larger project, but maybe we'll see. It might be nice to see. I've seen different ways on the Twinery page of how you can plot out books, so it could be used. Okay, so that. Yeah, but this is an example of a choice where it's a simple choice that has a small effect later, but in terms of the storyline, the pathing stays the same. Okay. Sorry, I got an email from work. There's a file that I need to send. I'm going to tell my wife that I used to do it more. This is a kind of an experiment to bring it back on Mondays and Fridays. The way my work works, because I do work from home. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I focus on my part-time job. Mondays, Fridays, and then some on the weekends is when I focus on the creative work. So the idea was to just get back to the writing stream in the morning before I get into the other things I need to do for the day, like my normal Monday stream and my normal Friday stream, which that stream is in an hour and a half, but that's on a different channel. So that was the idea, was I'm going to be sitting here writing. Why not have the screen up and just be working while I go? Why not, right? Yes, give it to me. No, give me the file. Sorry, I'm sending a document in. They're like, please finish the work. Oh, I finished it already. I was asking you guys a question about it. Okay, well, I guess I gotta let it download. So yeah, the answer is, in theory, it should be back on Mondays and Fridays, but we'll have to see how it goes. Once I get this skeleton sketched out into Twinery, I submit it, and I'll be able to take a break from this so that I can work on Fall, which is the project I was talking about before. But here, since I'm here, check this out. Those are, hold on, let me move it so it's over here to the side. Those are sketches of what the artist for the game is looking at doing. So that's an example. Those are some scenes right there from the first chapter, and the second chapter right there. I'm actually had to ask him some questions about this one because I think I know what he was doing here, but I just gave him a loose. I sent him the same draft that I sent the video game producers, and I think that's where he got the idea for this from. But so yeah, that's the first look at some of the work that the artist is doing. He and I have a conference call later today. I got that, and it's gonna get hit home. Wow, this is really happening. Plus, I got paid by them last week for the first project, the first part of the project that I completed. This will be be chat. Oh. Welcome in, Knots. Oh, please do. I do the plan is to do the plan is to do that. Morning, Knots. The plan is to do the writing on Mondays and Friday mornings. I also do a PTSD stream on Mondays where myself and a fellow veteran talk about our struggles with it in recovery, and with the evenings I game. And Friday, later today, so in about an hour and 30 minutes, I stream to... Okay, I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going to regret doing it, because a scene's going to come up that's not supposed to come up when I do it, but I'm going to do it anyway so you can get the information. There, I can catch it. Say in about an hour and a half, I'll be streaming to that channel. Knots, how are you? Knots, was it you? I can't remember. Was it you I was watching the other night who asked me the question about choices in games? Chapter 5, scene 2C. 2C. There we go. That was your most recent clip? Wow. That's been a while. I need to make some more clips of you. Yeah, you were playing that game with the girls. Yeah, you were asking me a question about my opinion on choice in games. And I think I told you my view is that video game companies don't invest the kind of money that they need to truly give you that kind of choice. Jen Ving, yes, I'm here now, but in an hour and a half I'll be over on the Extra Life channel. Axel Boost, thanks for coming in. Don't forget to follow. Yes, this was unplanned. I just decided I'm going to be writing this morning, so I set up a quick scene and I've been writing. In this case, I've been moving stuff from Scrivener on the left to Twinery on the right. Yeah, I know. Threw a lot of people off. But it's okay. I mean, I'll still be over on Extra Life. That is happening. But yeah, if I can keep my schedule disciplined with getting out, because thank you for that follow there. Actually, you know what? Give me a second. I think I forgot to add in. I forgot to add in the alerts. Yeah, we'll put them down here for now. And then we'll put them up here in the center. There we go. Cool. Now let me switch back to my main scene. Best, thank you for that follow, Axel. We'll see you around. So yeah, I actually managed to get all of my work, my part-time job work, done for the week yesterday evening. So I technically don't have to go back to it. Don't have to do any more. Well, I think I did this one already. Yes, a knock at the door. Yes, did that one. So if I can keep that up, then Monday mornings and Friday mornings I'll be doing this writing stream. It'll just be me on here working. Doesn't necessarily mean a lot of talking, but hey, it can happen. So how are you today, Jen? Knots? How was your week? Yeah, if you ask them to look it up in Ingram, like the distributor in Ingram, they should be able to get it. Oh, this is going to be chapter 5, scene 2E. Okay. Well, you may have to try a different bookstore like Barnes and Noble. If you don't like to order from Amazon, you can order from Barnes and Noble. That doesn't mean you can get Audible, but you can get you can definitely order the book from bnn.com. bn.com. This is an internal choice to this scene here. Okay, so let's go here. This is where this gets a little bit more complicated, laying out some of the things. And this is surface, this is top level looking down, not very getting too far into the specifics on the choices, just laying them out so that I can see them, kind of a skeleton, so that I can show the project manager the layout for the story. Won't you look? So then this will be chapter 5, scene 2E. How do I? Because it's going to go. Because they merge right there. It'll go I. And then we'll do another one. Well, the noises is the music. There should only be one source of music going. I don't hear, and there shouldn't be another one anywhere. Let me see. Yeah, see, as soon as I turn the one source off, it's gone. And you're listening to my normal writing music, but I have to slow it down for copyright reasons. So this is like 20% or 30% speed. Oh, thank you, Knots. So, and the things on the screen are a game. That's Rainbow Rampage, made by Instafluff, the same guy that made the Be Right Back screen game, The Wandering Wizards. Yes, yeah. Right now, she's in the final fight, so there's nothing you can do to help her. But as when it resets, there's rounds where you before the monsters spawn, where you can give her boosts, like heal, add to give her stronger shots, make her faster. So, but she's made it to the boss this time, and she actually made it with more hearts, so she might actually win. Last time she lost. Yeah, and it's just an overlay, and it is simply a browser source thing, and I figured it was something nice to. This is something because it takes a while to get through it, and it doesn't block the entire screen like the Wandering Wizards. This would be a nice little thing to put over it. Yes, actually, in this case, Jen, I'm working on a video game, a story for a video game. Which let me finish this thing right here. Tell him results. I just need something so that it's obvious. Chapter 5, scene 2E2, because they come back together here in a second. Okay. So here's your top-down view. So this is the story line, and these are the paths that they go through. And as you can see, chapter 2 I've really fleshed out because it was very easy to do. It was just pathing. Which paths does the character take to get someplace without being noticed? So that was it was a fun experiment in how I could really beef up the choices for the player. The player needs to be at the meeting. So I'm primarily just doing choices that will still allow the player to stay on the main path. And she will give her time. She's actually almost got the boss down. When she does, she wins, and then it will take a moment, and then it'll reset. So I'm kind of keeping on the main path. So like Knots, you were saying too many choices. Well, I may go back to what you said. Yeah, that's true. You want to play. You don't want to feel like you're missing. But have that interaction, and that's kind of the experience you get with those Telltale games. You get it's the illusion of choice, but you don't get to the end and feel like there's something missing. And that's when I'm doing this. I explained this already. Not some of these paths will diverge. I haven't added any of the diverging paths. Yeah, welcome in, Chalice Mike. Some of these, yep, he's a mod. Pixel Sharks is here too. Pixel Sharks is a mod also. Pixel Sharks actually resubbed today, so thank you for that. 13 months. So I haven't added them in. You'll notice that all of these paths still connect to a transfer point to the next chapter. But later, there will be choices that lead off and don't connect back. And yep, there it is. She won. We do not want hard mode. No hard mode. There. So now it's started. And she's attacking sugar-free HQ because they're trying to ban Halloween. That's there. Now you know the plot. So, and Knots, I'll be interested to hear what you think about this type. In a second, she'll tell you. There, type candy time. So I'll do it. Okay. So now, give her a boost. I'm going to say, let's give her a power boost. And you can pick one of those. You have a set amount of time to do it before it'll actually pick it. No, the game's already started. Now you can see the commands. She's telling you the commands right now. So, but she's at full health. Knots. You can change your choice. Oh, there she goes. She got a power up because that was the one. Okay, so now she's going to go around and shoot it, and if she loses a heart, if she loses her heart, actually no, look, it did give it Knots. She did. She got all of it. You did manage to give her an extra heart. So there you go. So Knots, since you're here, this is a question I'm going to direct at you. When you see this chapter right here that I'm moving the mouse around on, I'll move in closer to it so you can see it a little more. So all of these choices you'll see lead back. Now they lead to different points, but the idea is that they all go to. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. They all go to, and I did it too late. They all go back to an ideal path. But I'm going to have certain points in the story where you'll have a branch that goes off, and this is actually a perfect place to do this. Have a branch where she goes off the wrong path, say runs into a computer terminal, and is able to look at the schematics of the machine, which doesn't seem like it's going to be that helpful for her right now. And it actually is going to be bad for her because by being there longer than she was initially supposed to be, she's going to end up dying. But that information that you get while you're going, when she goes down that, about the schematics of the machine, there's a conversation that happens way at the end of the game that information could be helpful to you when you're having a conversation with this other person. So even that dead-end choice will give you a little tidbit of information, and I'm going to try to make sure the devs have a way for you guys to take notes of information so that you know what you revealed, so even if you have to restart, you still have that information. And so those dead ends aren't complete losses for you. So I can still push you back to the main path, but let you go off on this tangent that you want to go off on, and then it will give you something so that it doesn't feel like it's a waste for you. So you get the same, I'm going to keep you down this path, but if you choose to just really want to go this other way, I'll let you to a point, and then you're going to have to go back, but I'm going to reward you for your choice anyway. And Jen, it is very complicated. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so I'm learning. And actually, I think this is the only project of theirs that I'll do in this software, Twinery, because they're developing their own. I thought you would like that, Knots. So let's get back down here. 20 more minutes on this stream before I will be heading offline to prep for the extra live stream. On the extra live stream, I will be doing Spyro. Yes. That's kind of the nature of humans, if you think about it. We like to blaze our own paths, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but we learn from those experiences anyway. So the idea there is to give you that choice, that I'm going to be myself. This is what I would actually choose to do here. I see a computer terminal off in a room. I look around, no one's there. I'm going to go in there and look and get drawn into what you see, give you some information, and then something happens, and the main event of this chapter happens, and this episode happens, and you're kind of stuck, because as a result you aren't going to be able to get to where you need to get. But it's not just going to be a single scene, couple of click throughs, and it's done. No, there's going to be a whole path that you're going to go on that I have to write in later, that's going to lead to the demise of the character for that one path exactly, but it's going to go on. So you'll see, if it branches off, say right here, and goes up this way, you'll have a whole branch that's going a similar pathing down and through the chapters until reaching a certain point where the main event happens, the main thing happens, and it will look like she's coming back to this path, but eventually down towards the end, because this is chapter 5 right here. So like 7, I think, is when the main event. 6 and 7 is when the main event. So here is where that path will end. So you're going to go that way for a while, thinking you're progressing, only to find out you're not. You'll have to go back. Yes, Cellist Mike, there is actually a choice in chapter 7 where if the player makes a path choice, the paths will diverge. This being the ideal path, this being the divergent path. There is one more chance in this episode for the player to bring it back to the ideal path, but if they make the other choice, they will stay on the separate path for the rest of the story, but can still get to the end. It will just be harder. So when you're looking at those branching story, the choose your own adventure stories, where you see one that like splits like this, but they somehow eventually both come to an ideal end, to the end, that will be there. So you would see right here, say a chapter right here, where if this was all a single line going off to the right, if it was all a single line going off to the right, the single line would become 2. And then there's one little line that can connect it right there to bring it back, and then after that, it's 2 permanently. Bandersnatch. It's the Bandersnatch. Jen, you go enjoy your shower. I will be back on the Extra Life channel in about an hour and 15 minutes, playing some Spyro and doing things for the kids. I love this emote. Let me find it. Where is it? There it is. I love this emote. I don't have it visible right here. I should have it visible. Let me bring it up. Not hard to do. No, don't add a scene. I'm on the whole one. This one. This one. Add a browser source. Extra Life. Okay. I should have this down here. You guys can see it. We are making progress. There we go. Back to the main scene. What? No, don't do that. Cool. I hope you get a lot of writing on. Oh, you hit the Extra Life command. Yeah, the Extra Life command. I need to fix that because it's broken. Whenever it goes off, it triggers that thing, and I do not know why. That's why I had to change my main one to Charity. Hey, Jan. Thank you for that. That's very much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying the content enough to support the channel. And if you, not this month, but in the month leading up to Extra Life, so I think it's November 2nd, so October 2nd, those last 4 weeks leading to Extra Life, any sub or bit support will be entirely matched to Extra Life. So you sub at such whatever tier, whatever that tier of support is, will be added directly into Extra Life, starting from 4 weeks prior to. So yeah, Well, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the donate. I will match the donation. So you sub, and I will match the amount that support level into Extra Life. I'll just make a donation to match it. That's what's going to happen for subs for the month leading up to. Doesn't matter if it's a Twitch Prime sub or whatever tier sub, gift sub, whatever the amount is that the support provides. I'll be donating it to Extra Life for the 4 weeks leading up to the main event. And all the bits and everything. The bits actually I may do just during the main event, but we'll see. That's different. It's easier to keep track of subs, ironically. Hey, I appreciate your investment of time because that is our most valuable commodity. We're getting down to it. Okay, so he asks why he won't look at the display. Okay. If asking him go here. So that will go here, right? Which one is it again? Don't you look? E1. So E1 goes here. And then I'll take this, copy this, and put that right. I need this to be over here. No, not red. I want it black. Give me my colors. Give me my color. Black. There we go. Okay. I appreciate it. And I will see you in an hour on the Extra Life channel. And then this will be E black, go all the way over. As I said earlier, I want them to match on both Twinery and Scrivener because if something goes wrong, I want to make sure that I have it backed up. And Scrivener is much more stable. In my opinion, it's much more stable than Twinery. Although the browser version of Twinery seems to not have the stability issues that the desktop app does. Power. Oh, nice. She's on the boss. I thought, yeah, what do you think, Chalice Mike? I thought having the Rainbow Rampage on the writing scene was a good place to put it. Because there's not much else going on, so. Okay, so. Yeah, see this, so this is a choice. Yeah, I consider putting the Wandering Wizards on there, but it covers too much. Oh, hey, can I submit this now? Reply to them. Oh, nice to be done with work for the week and just be able to do this stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, if you wanted to, I can't remember. I don't remember all the commands for it, but if I do this, it should reset it. I forget now what resets it. Candy time, that's what resets it. Gip does too. Let's see. There. Yeah, so she'll just fly around right now until it starts again. So how did your leveling go last night, Chalice Mike? So I see that. So there's the choice to ask him, to the telling him path. Also, these connect right back to here. Okay, so how do I want them to categorize that? Yeah, see, here's where I'm trying to give the... Yeah, it is cool to watch. This is where I'm giving the player just these little subtle choices of do I ask him straight up why he won't look at the results, or do I just tell him? So this is more, do you want to take a moment to inquire into who this character is and in that scene see him being more of a mentor to her, or do you just want to go straight to telling him? And then once you do get to the point where you're telling him, do you tell him just the results, or do you tell him both the results and your interpretation of it? So it's just little subtle character things that just slide little choices in there to make it a little more fleshed out. But because of that, I need to change this to... This is going to be F. This should change that. See, and that's one thing I like about this software is if I change the title of a scene that's already branched to, that's already connected to, it'll change the link in the previous one. So now this needs to go to... F. There, so then I'll connect back to that. Oh yeah, mounts. They're so expensive. So necessary, but so expensive. I think I'll put it right there. Okay, so now... this will be F. Now we have another choice here, so this will be... does this read? Yes, so right here. So we'll go to, we'll make this state the results, and we'll make it chapter 5, scene 2, FI, or F1, FI, there we go. This, copy that, put it right there. This up here. Oh. Yep. What happened there? Okay, it did work. Cool. Here. Slide this down. Okay. And interpretation. Okay. Yeah, when you start fresh like that, you do tend to have those issues of no economy. Just results. Okay, so chapter 5, scene 2, FII. Close bracket, double close bracket, then copy that out. Okay, so it created those. Over that there. Okay, so stating interpretation. We go to here. So this is stating interpretation, and then we'll take that up here. And this one is FII, state just the results. That goes here. Onward. Okay, so so we've got that. Okay, so now we're on to chapter 5, scene 2G. And then chapter 5, scene 2H. I think, yeah, that's they merge back together right there. So we'll I think I need to branch the pages should be right. Let's look and see. And of course it's going to load on the center screen because that's where I was working on it. Yep, 22 pages is right. I think this one needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. Yeah, right here. There, it needs to be separated. Now, but see, it's a different choice. You state something different. I'm going to need to come back to this one. This one's going to require just a bit more. What I'll do is I will add 2 scenes real quick just to get these in here. So I've got that. So this will be chapter 5, scene 2G. Yes. And then this one will be H. I need to contemplate that transition point right there just a bit more. Scene 2H. Okay, cool. Let's publish this to a file, so I've got a save of it. Okay, cool. All right. I think she might be stuck. Not entirely sure, but I think she might be stuck. And notice that some of her projectiles are stuck in the corner over there. Okay. So, oh, there she goes. Now she's starting. Okay, well, we're going to have to let her be because it's time for me to... You think you figured it out? Well, I'm glad somebody figured it out. So right when you figure it out, I stop it. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so it's 11 o'clock. I have to walk the dog, feed myself, and set up for basically reset for Extra Life. So I'll be back in 1 hour on this. Just reason to keep writing stream going. Well, I would gladly do that, but I have another stream I have to do. That's the problem with the Friday morning writing streams, is I have to stop because I have on Monday I have the talk stream with you, and then on Friday I have Extra Life. So it's a mess. It just comes with it. Oh no, yeah, I'm going to. The plan is to do this on Mondays and Friday mornings. I hope to get my schedule done more efficiently so that I can start at 8:30 and have 2.5 hours to just write. I'm not done writing for the day. This stuff's gonna all stay open, but I'm not going to be doing writing stream in the afternoon. So that's where I'll be in 1 hour. So I hope to see you all there. So thanks again, everybody, for your hanging out, your support, your discussions, your questions. It's all appreciated. Most of all, I appreciate your time. We all have very limited time, I know, and I appreciate that you spend it here with me. and hanging out with my community. Please be sure to check out, let me see, it's right below. Hey, Cellist Mike, can you do me a favor? Look at my browser. Look at where you're watching me. Not in full screen. Just directly underneath my video player. You see the Teams Super Funiverse thing? Click it. Get that link that it goes to, and then just share it in chat. Would you please do that? So I've joined outside. I'm basically a part of 2 different stream teams. One is the Extra Life stream team, which I stream to on Fridays, but that's not an official team like the Extra Life ambassadors. That's a group of very select streamers who I think are all partnered, and they do a lot for Extra Life. I think they've been around with it for a decade. So I'm a volunteer part of the community a community of streamers that streams to that channel, but I'm not officially part of their ambassadors team. But I recently joined the Super Funiverse team. It's a group of streamers, mostly in Seattle. Once you've clicked on it, you get that link that it takes you to, the team link. Just copy it and paste it in the chat. And it's all family friendly. You got a lot of makers, you've got coders, you've got community players. They play a bunch of different things. It's a very supportive community. InstaFluff is part of it. Rainbow Rampage is his. Stream Puppy is his. Clippy Raid. Wandering Wizards. InstaFluff's influence is all over my chat, all over my stream since I ran into him 2 years ago. But that's the link to the team right there, and you can find, I think, InstaFluff is live now, and I'm actually going to cast a host for him and head on over there right after this and before I head over to the Extra Life channel. So thanks everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, is he cooking today? Yeah, that's right, his cookbook. Cool. And he does that too. Bonsai does cooking on the weekends, while she does maker stuff during the weekdays, and in the evening she plays games. Bonsai streams a lot from every part of her house. So, thanks everybody. Thank you for your help, Jealous Mike, and we'll catch you guys on this channel on Monday, and on the Extra Life channel in 55 minutes. Bye.